Yeah. Okay. We're up to Ches Amid Aleph. Up to Ches Amid Aleph. Let's just go back over a few of the Nekudos that we discussed. We saw Machloikis between Rav Nachman and Rav Sheshes, whether Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba and Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba. Rav Nachman said it's Hutcha. Rav Sheshes said it's Hutcha B'Tziba. We saw that this Machloikis Amarayim, in fact, is a Machloikis Tanoim. Rav Shimon says Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba. Rav Yehuda is the sole Tana that says Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba. Today, the Gemara is going to suggest that perhaps the machloikis between Rav Sheshes and Rav Shimon is a machloikis. In other words, we have other Tanoim who argue in this prat, holding whether Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba and Tumah is Hutcha B'Tziba. So we're in Ches Lamed Aleph, where I'd say we're 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 lines down. 14 lines down. Name, let us say, Hani Tanoi. Let us say these Tanoim, like Rabbi Yehuda and Rav Shimon, they argue like the following Tanoim. The Tanya, Echad Zeh, whether it's the Kohen who is doing the Avodah, the Kohen Gadol doing the Avodah Yom Kippur, the Echad Zeh, or whether it's the Kohen that is going to burn the Parah Aduma, Mazin Olav Kol Shiva, they would sprinkle on them all 7 days, Mikol Chatois Shahayu Shon, from all the chatas that was there, Divrei Reb Meir. So just to digress a second before, what's this inyan of sprinkling all the chatas? We mentioned it before, but they had, anytime they would bring a paraduma, they would go ahead, they would burn it, and they would put the ashes, they didn't keep it to Yerushalayim, that everyone have to travel to Yerushalayim to purify themselves to Mismace. They would go ahead and spread it in different places in Klal Yisrael, where you'd be able to pick it up and go and put it, mix it with Mayim Chaim to purify yourself. Outside the Chayil, which was an area outside the base of Mikdash proper, they took from each paraduma that was always burnt, they took samples and they kept them there, and including the one that Moshe had made. And we saw Rashi said Moshe was it never got consumed. It never got used up. So they sprinkled from all these that were there and the outside, they would spritz on this. Anytime the person did a paraduma or Yom Kippur, they would spritz for 7 days, according to Reb Meir, using this. I said, why do you have to use each one? So I saw it's an extra chumrah. You have to know. You assume they were all done kilchasa, but you never know for sure. So to ensure that for sure this guy's going to be squeaky clean, we use every single one. Perhaps one was done correctly if the other ones were done incorrectly. That was one of the pshatim I saw. Okay, so
Moshe's was for sure done correctly.
So you hopefully just that one was done correctly. The one from Moshe's was certainly done correctly. But then you could
just do that one. Just sprinkle with that.
Just sprinkle Moshe. So again, it was an inyan of using each one of them all. According to the Rambam says that they sprinkled, there were only 7 and to begin with, they sprinkled each day one from each. They sprinkled each day one from each. They had 7 at this time. I don't know.
Maybe there were 2 more.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, but this time
they kept the separate jugs and they each one.
I know I wasn't there, but again, I obviously knew. Oh, Hesh?
I'll have to get back to you.
Anyway,
Remember, come on.
Anyway, so so this Ramei Shita they spritzed all 7. Ramei Shita is they spritzed all 7. Rabbi Yossi Yoma ein masan alav ela shlishi v'shvi bilvad. They didn't sprinkle all 7 days. They sprinkled only 3 and 7. Again, fellas, if you're spritzing para aduma, the chashash tumas mace. Tumas mace is only day 3 and day 7, right? You didn't spritz all 7 days. So he says they spritzed both of them, but they spritzed only day 3 and 7. And the third shita, Reb Chanina Sagana Kahana Maimer, Reb Chanina said, Koyin hasoyref es apara, mezon alav kol shiva. He got spritzed all 7. Koyin Gadol b'Yom Kippur ein mezon alav el shlishi v'shvi. Right? He got what? Only 3 and he only got what? He only got 3 and 7. So what are the different sheets? Reb Meir says what? Reb Meir says both all 7. Reb Yossi says both 3 and 7. Reb Chanina makes kind of peshara. The Kohen who did the Parah got all 7, but the Kohen Gadol who did Yom Kippur, Now, we'll get back to this in a second, but let's get to see what's the application to Tumah being Hutcha and Tumah being Hutcha, right? You're telling me that somehow the Machlokes near Rabbi and Rabbi Yossi, that there's opinion. My lab Hakmifli, Rabbi is of the opinion, Tumah Dechuyahi Betzibor. Tumah is the Chuya Betzibor, and Rabbi Yossi Sava Tumah is Hetu Betzibor. Now, what's the svara? Let's see Rashi. Two lines from the top. Rabbi Sava Dechuyahi Betzibor, Ube'inyan Tahayrim Al Yasa. You need the best Torah possible. You need the best Torah possible. This is Rashi. Like there's different levels of Torah at Mashma. In other words, so the Hazor is mana, and the Hazor has to be in the right time. The Chol Yuma Iklis Svuke Shema Yom Ashlishihu. Each day we can be sufik. Maybe it's the third day. The Tumasai B'Shleishim Rishayim. Guys, the first that's this. You're spritzing for 7 days, right? Now, I have to be suspicious that this person is coming to mismace. So let's just start from, let's say Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to Shabbos. Good. Sunday is spritzing for what? Its possibility is he's tummy from when? 3 days before. He could be tummy from 7 days before also, but I can't deal with that tumor of 7 days before because I need a spritzing of 3 before that 7. So I only can start with 3. You understand? In other words, in order to be tar, you need a progression of day 3 and day 7. But if I'm starting on Sunday, now Sunday, there's 2 possibilities. It could be Sunday is the 3rd day after his tumah, or it could be the 7th day after his tumah. But it wouldn't help to spritz for 7th day on a Sunday. Why? Because I'm missing a spritzing of 3 from before. So let's only take into account the possibility of 3. Good? So Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday takes into account perhaps a tumah of 3 days before. By Wednesday, I know that what? Okay. That I took care of the 3s. Good? I took care of the 3s, right? Now, forget Wednesday for a second. Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos is 7. Thursday is 4 days after Sunday, and Friday is Monday, and Shabbos is Tuesday. So I'll have in 7 days I'll have a spritzing of day 3 and 7, and the Gemara is going to fact and ask, so why do you spritz on a Wednesday? There's no reason to spritz on a Wednesday, guys. I did Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, right? You're good. You're set. Now I need a spritzing now for what? For day 3 and day 7. So good. On day Thursday is what? Is the 7th day, 4 days after Sunday, and so on. And so I was going to ask what. And so therefore, the reason why we spritz all days, all 7, is to take into account all these possibilities. Look at Lashon Rashi. V'chol yuma iklis svuke shema hayom yom shlishihu tumasai b'shleishim rishayim on the first 3 days, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, u'b'shleish achronim, Thursday, Friday, and Shabbos. Kol yuma v'yuma iklis svuke misveika hu shvi. Maybe it's the suffix of the 7th day. Good. So therefore you can do all 7. We'll come about Wednesday.
How does it go?
What?
How do you make it?
Okay. So therefore, since soon as the chuya, I have to do everything in my power to make sure it's tahor. So what will I do? I'll spritz every single day because I want to take care of any tumah. There's anything I can do to correct it.
By the time we get to the time he has to do the avodah, you did 3 and 7 without doing 1 and 2, 4, 5, 6.
What do you mean?
Making him any more tired.
Yeah, but yeah. By doing all, no, it's really only have to do 3 and 7.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a bikasha. It's a gavaldic kasha. They speak about it that there seems to be. I'll tell you the chakira. Who is more tahar? A person who never got tamei, or a person who got tamei and went to the mikvah? So you'd say the person never got tamei, right? No, tamei went to the mikvah. So you see, they're both tahar, but there's one that's an upper level. So this is over here. This is the upper level. This is upper level. Notice Rashi uses a funny lashon, guys. Rashi uses the lashon of ubinyan tyra ma'al yasa. Yeah, what do you mean a better tub? What does that mean? A tyra ma'al yasa. So it's a very geschmacka. And who is more tar? It's a person Mishnayos the Rambam. Who's more tar? A person who never got tamei, or a person who's tamei went to the mikvah.
It's even better than Hutra. That means even if it's Hutra, you have the.
So this is not Hutra, this is Hutcha, because Hutra, I wouldn't have to go to mikveh at all.
No, but if Hutra.
But I'm saying, but right now, for getting back to where, not to get off into the tangential sunset too bad, right? This is Reb Meir holds the opinion Tumas Hutcha. Why? We're taking into account his Tumah and trying to go ahead and correct it as much as possible. That's what the Gemara is suggesting. Reb Yosi Sav, I'm continuing with Rashi. Reb Yosi Sava, Reb Yosi is of the opinion, Heta Hibet Siba, Tumas Mutta, the Loi Machmiri Ba, you're not Machmir. So you don't, meaning he only says you need what, 3 and 7. Good? What's your question? If Tumas Hutra, why do you 3 and 7 at all? It's the Maila Ma'alma that we learn from Miluyim, which is fair because the Maila Ma'alma is this from Sinai, it's not from Miluyim. Miluyim is the Din Daraisa. The Machlokes we said, the Nafkamina was that by Sinai, it was only a Maila Ma'alma. L'chala Pachis. The reason why you would go ahead and do it is Lamaila, meaning is since Paraduma, since Paraduma, you're what? What? You learn that from Miluyim 7 days. Well, of course, the assumption is they were taught. Sure, they were taught. What? Where's Hutra B'Tziba? They weren't doing Avodah. Again, there was a process. They were getting cleansed. Anyway, l'chala pachas. So that's the havamin of the Gemara. Reb Meir, who says requires all shiva, he says Tumas Hutcha. And Reb Yosi, who only requires 3 and 7, also Maila Ba'alma, he would hold Tuma is what is Hutra. So back in the Gemara. Maila Ba'alma, Reb Yosi Sava Tuma Dechuyi B'Tziva, Reb Yosi Sava Tuma Edi B'Tziva. B'Tizbra, Isav Reb Yosef Hetahu B'Tziba Hazah B'Chlal Lamali. So what's the answer, guys? We said, Rashi said, it's Ma'alma. Guys, Rashi said the reason you're doing it is just a Chumra Ma'alma, right? So what's the Gemara's Kasha? Gemara's Kasha is, if it's a Hutra, why do you need any spritzing at all? Rashi answered it. You need a spritzing of 3 and 7, also Chumra Ma'alma. So look at Rashi. Rashi says something very interesting. Guys, look at Rashi says, guys. Hazah klal lomali b'toira shlishi v'shvi. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have to spritz at all. Why are you spritzing as if he was Tamei Mace doing Dafka 3 and 7? If you're doing it Ma'alma, spritz on him one day and farting an Asik. Why do you have to do 3 and 7? 3 and 7 is saying, I'm choshit for Tumas HaMace. That's why I'm spritzing 3 and 7. If your chayr it's just a chumrah, so go to the mikvah. You go, where Friday morning, go to the mikvah, right? Whatever. In the afternoon, you go to the mikvah. I don't know what you do. You go. Right? What? They don't. They go twice a year. What? No. I think they hold Tumas Hutra. It's not necessary, but a lit fox is not necessary. Okay. Anyway, so So here, guys, look where Rashi is learning the kasha. Okay, let's go outside. Look at me. Here we go. We have Machloikas Tuma Hutra. Says Reb Meir, you got to go to the mikvah all 7 days. Why? Because Tumas Hutcha, and I want to take into account any possibility, and a mamish is going to be squeaky clean. Says Rabbi Yehuda, no, you only got to says Rabbi Yosi, you only going to mikvah 3 and 7. Why are you going 3 and 7? Because Tumas Hutcha. Fed the Gemara. What does that mean 3 and 7? It means it says Rashi, if Tumas Hutcha, why are you going at all? Answers the Gemara, I'll tell you why you're going. You're going because of Chumra Ma'alma. Fed the Gemara. So why, if it's still, if it Tumah is Hutra, why are you going Mitaris 3 and 7? If it's Chumra Ma'alma, go 1 day, go 2 days, but don't Dafka go on the 3rd day and the 7th day as if we're taking care of Vlad of Tumas Mace. The Alama must be that's not this first Machloikis. There must be another Machloikis. Again, the 3 and 7 is making a statement. I'm worried about Tumas Mace. Guys, you hear? 3 and 7 is making a statement. I'm worried about Tumas Mace. But 1 second, if Tumas Hutra, why are you worried about Tumas Mace? Also, Chumra, you Dafka doing 3 and 7? That's the way Rashi's learning. Okay, back in the Gemara, says the Gemara. So what's the din over here? Ella, you're right. This machloikas between Rabbi Yosef and Rabbi Yehuda has nothing whatsoever to do with Tumah being Hutra, Tumah being Hutra. El the Kuli Alma Hani Tanai Saba, Tumah the Chuyahi B'Tzibur. The Tumah is the Chuya B'Tzibur, meaning even Rabbi Yosef holds Tumah is the Chuya B'Tzibur. So it's not, so this machloikas, It's not, and Rabbi Yehuda is the sole Tana who holds Tumas Hutra. Rabbi Yehuda is the sole Tana that holds Tumas Hutra. Kul Yama Hani Tunay Sarbi Tumat Dechuyi Ibetziva. V'hacha mitzvah. V'mei Sava Aminon Tefila Bismana mitzvah. It's a mitzvah to be Toivel Bismana, and each day of the 7, I have to be chosheh that may be the day of the tefillah. So I have to go ahead and take into account the possibility this is the day of his purification from Tumas Meis. So therefore, every single day you take care of it. And Rabbi Yossi Sava lo yamin tefillah bismana mitzvah. Guys, you don't need it to be bismana. All you have to do is take care of Tumas Meis. What do I need for Tumas Meis? A 3 and a 7. Do it one time. It's genuk. Reb Meir holds that what I need to do it bismana. So therefore, I got it. The only way I can do it bismana is 3 days, right? 1, 2, 3, every single day. And the first early days of the spritzing, why am I doing it? I'm doing the early days of the spritzing because of the first of day 3. I'm doing the latter 3 because of the 7. And why do I have to do it every single day? Because that might be the day. Masha Enken, according to Rabbi Yossi, no. Tefillah doesn't have bismana. All you have to make sure that what is your tahar. 3 and 7 will take care of it. Slowly? Good? Okay. Says the Gemara. So I got a problem. It's a good hezbollah, except I got a problem, guys. Rabbi Yossi holds that tefillah b'zman is also a mitzvah. In other words, this is a great hezbollah if it was true. It'd be a great shot if it was true. Unfortunately, or fortunately, Rabbi Yossi does not hold that tefillah b'zman is not a mitzvah. He holds it is a mitzvah. Where do you see that? Batanya, Hari Hoya Shem Kaisev al Bisrei. A person has the Shem Hashem written on his flesh. Harizeh lo yirchatz. He shouldn't go ahead and wash himself. Says Rashi, why? Lo yirchatz. Shelo yimchakenu. He shouldn't go ahead and erase it. The ashara lo moichik es Hashem. And where's the warning in the Torah not to be moichik es Hashem, not to erase the Shem Hashem? It says va'avartem es shemam. You should eradicate, destroy the names of the Avodah Zarah. The samach right next to it, like sasu kein Hashem. Do not eradicate Hashem's name. So Rashi is learning the reason, the problem is with going ahead and going to the mikvah with the shame, going to the mikvah, washing yourself is being erasing the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Rashi learns. We'll see another shot in a second. You shouldn't stay in the wat. You should anoint yourself. In the dirt, in a place where there's schmutz. And there's damne like tefillah shel mitzvah. However, if a tefillah shel mitzvah comes along, you have to go to the mikvah. Then you go ahead, you take some type of fibrous tree stuff, and you, like rubber-like, and you put it over it to cover it so it won't get erased. The table, and you go to the mikvah. Rabbi Yossi says, Yoirid, you go down to toivel, and you toivel kidarkoi, and you cut in a normal way. Ubilvad shelo yishavshef. Rabbi Yossi says you go down, you toivel kidarkoi, provided you don't go ahead and the kaim along the tefillah bismana mitzvah kamitzvah. Machlokas whereas tefillah bismana is a mitzvah. The mandiyama guys, look, the mandiyama who holds that you have to put a gummy on, meaning even though I'm going to mitzvah the zman of the tefillah, so it's not a mitzvah. Go get the gummy to cover it up. Where Rabbi Yossi says no. Rabbi Yossi says no. If you have gemi, great. If you don't have gemi, you can't miss this man. You got to do it now, and you do the best you can to avoid it. Lo yishavshev, don't be moichik with your hands. But you see from here that Rabbi Yossi holds what? That tefillah bismana is a mitzvah. So you can't tell me that's the hezbollah of the machlokes previously that Rabbi Yossi holds tefillah bismana is lav mitzvah, and Rabbi Meir holds it is a mitzvah. So that can't be the hezbollah of the machlokes. Okay, that can't be the hezbollah of the machlokes. The Tanakh Sava lo yamin tefillah bismana mitzvah, and therefore you can go search for your gemi to cover it up. But Rabbi Yossi Sava yamin tefillah bismana mitzvah. So guys, so right now before we get back to this gemi, we have a problem. If you introduce this machlokes between Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi as a means of saying they hold tumas hutra v'hutra, you failed. You then therefore decided, well, let me explain the machlokes. What's the machlokes? Whether tefillah is mana or is a mitzvah or not. You failed there as well. So what's the machlokes? What's the svaras of machlokes between Rabbi Meir involves 7 days and Rabbi and Rabbi Yosi only 3 and 7. What's the machlokes? And Chanina Kohen Gadol 3, 7, and by the paraduma all 7. El the Kuli Alma Lahani Tanoi Amina and Tfil Bismana Mitzvah. So what's as far as the machlokes v'hacha v'hacha mitzvah? Ramei Sava Makshinin Hazol Tefillah. We make a hekish between Hazah and Tefillah. He's going to be toivel for 7 days. You spitz on him 7 days. Rabbi Yosi Sava loy Makshinin Hazol Tefillah. You're not makish what Hazol Tefillah, and therefore you can spitz day 3 and day 7. Chanina Sagana Akanim say if makish Hazol Tefillah afilu koyin b'yom kippanami, then it also should be every day. And Eloi Makish Hazol Tefillah, I feel a kind of Sarayif as a portion only be 3 and 7. Where does Reb Chanina get this kind of pshara with what that the Sarayif is every day and the in Yom Kippur is 3, 7? Says Gemara Lo'olam Loi Makish. He doesn't make the hekish the kind of at all. So really, if he doesn't make the hekish, then it should be enough 3 and 7. The kind of Sarayif is a para Ma'ila Ba'alma, and the kind who goes ahead of Sarayif is a para. It's a Ma'ila Ba'alma. Okay, so let's so. That's the machlokes. So let's chazir. We know machlokes tumah hutra v'hutcha is what? The only Tanu says tumah is hutra is Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanu says tumah is hutra is Reb Shimon. Good, very good. We have now machlokes between Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Yosi and Rabbi Chanina. We wanted to suggest tumah hutra v'hutcha. No. We wanted to say tefillah bismana. Loy. And we're saying now it's whether you make everyone says you go to mikveh for 7 days. Question, spritzing. Do we make a hekesh to spritzing or not? Rabbi makes a hekesh to spritzing. Just like the tefillah to spritzing, just like tefillah is all 7 days, so to spritzing is all 7 days. Rabbi Yosi says, no, I don't make the hekesh, I don't make it at all. So there's no hekesh, and therefore all I have to do is 3, 7 because I have to worry about tumah and tefillah bisman is a mitzvah. No, that's not the machlokes over here. And then finally, Reb Chanina, he says that he doesn't make the hekesh at all. He doesn't make the hekesh at all. So so why are you doing 3? Why are you doing all 7 days? Why are you doing if he doesn't make the hekesh at all? Why are you doing what 3, 7? He says what for Ma'ila Ba'alma. He says for Ma'ila Ba'alma. Okay, just this din of this gemi. There's a very shver inyan over here. Yeah, Moshe, you have a question?
How is it not a chatzitza?
Okay, so that's the Gemara in Shabbos. That's why it's a gemi. It seems that the water is able to get in, but not with force. It seems, I haven't answered your question. If you look at Rashi, Rashi seems to say it's the force of the water that's going to take it off. If you look at Rashi,
Again, the actual writing is not a chatzitza. Third, but the actual writing of the kippur is not permanent.
Rashi says, "Korachlov gemi lahagelov choizik shetef hamayim," to protect it from the force of the water that might erase it. So it's mashma that the water can get in, but it won't get in with force, right? So the actual. Okay, I think we discussed it in Shabbos. I didn't get into the chatzitza thing. I got into something else. The sugi in Shabbos does not say the reason like Rashi. Rashi says you're going to cause the shame to be erased. Rashi says the problem is you're going to cause the shame to be erased, right? If you look at Taisus Yishanim over here, it's a little Taisus Yishanim, lo yirchatz. It's towards, start from the bottom, go up about a quarter of the way up. And say lo yirchatz. The last word in the word is lo. It's a big, you don't have that?
Can't see it.
You can't see it. And it's very short. The perikol kisvei, maskinan taima mishum, she'asa lamoid b'fnei Hashem orim. It's also to stand in front of the shame when you're orim, when you're without clothing. Not else goyrim. It's like a davar sheba kedusha. You have the shame Hashem on you, and here you are. You're going ahead wide, and you're standing like with your tefillin in the merchatz. She'asa lam b'fnei Hashem orim. Avu mishum loy sasun loy asrinon grama. Because of sasun, you can't do this to erase the name. That's grama. In other words, if it's just erasing with water coming down upon it, that's called grama. That's called causing, and that would not be enough. So there's a piece over here. I'll read it to you For those on Zoom, they could see it. Steve, you want to send it out to people on the phone? He's going to send it out to you. If you have your phone, you want to zoom it on the phone. There's a very, very interesting, there's one Pashup pshat, and there's a very chappy pshat over here, very geschmack pshat. So I'll read it. Rashi mefarish she'isar achitza mishum chashash makika. You're worried about being machak. And Tosfos Yeshonim and Ritva, they ask on Rashi, based upon the Gemara in Kol Kisvei, it's mashmitz us to stand without clothing in front of the shame. To explain Rashi, the Noida Yehuda writes, Shalei hitiru gorim mechika el letzorich tfilas mitzvah. When they matter it, that's only if it's a tefillah shal mitzvah. El devar rishus af grama asa mishum bezayin. In other words, if you're just going to the mikvah stam bezayin, not by mitzvah, that would be a bezayin. That would be a bezayin. Now, if you look at the Gimel, the B'shaylas and Chuvas Beis Shloima, Yeridea Chelik Beis, Kosav Sherashi Pirish Al Pidivei Gemara. Rashi can be understood based upon the Gemara in Sukkah Daf Nun Gimel. By David, guys. David was looking for what? He was looking for the Beis HaMikdash. He was digging, and he came to a place called Shisin. They were the subterranean places. He pulled the plug, and the water started geasing and geasing, and it was going to flood the world. And David said, whoever knows the answer to this question, and doesn't say should choke. And the Gemara brings out a lima from there that the Klolis Tzaddik Afilu Chinam Hiba, because Achiv Tofel made the following Kal V'Chomer. Madach for Shalom Bayis by the Saita. We'll go ahead, take the parsha with the shame and throw it in the water, be moichik it, right? Yeah? Save a marriage. To save the world, Alachas Kam V'Kama will do that. To save the word, Alachas Kam V'Kama will go ahead and it's mutter to raise the shame. That even though you can go ahead by throwing it in the water, right? So that sugya there is mashma. What's the problem of the shame? Of being mochak the shame. So this sefer, Beis Shlomo wants a taina that it's a machloikis sugyas. Rashi is explaining the Gemara not based on Kol Kisvei in Shabbos, where it's clear you're standing without clothing in front of the shame. He's basing it on the Gemara, where the whole shaila is by David, whether you can be mochak, whether you can raise the shame or not. And Rashi is saying his din in that Gemara. So it's machlokes Gemaras, and Rashi's explaining it like that Gemara. So Rashi as Yeshem Alismach. It's a very, very nice pshat that I thought I would share with the oilam. Okay. Says the Gemara. Kiman asla the Tana Rabbanan. Who does it go to according to the following? Ein ben koyin asarif es hapara lekoyin gadol b'yom kippurim. It's a Mishnah Megillah, right? A bunch of ein bains, right? There's no difference between the koyin who burns the para aduma and the koyin gadol who on Yom Kippur ella amid beis elazeh prishasei lekedusha. This one he separates is for kedusha. We're putting the kohen gadol in Makom Kodesh in the lishkas v'hedrin. The achiv hakohanim noigim boy, and the achiv kind they can touch him. The zeh and the kohen haserv esapara pishasei l'taira. We put him into the lishkas base even, which is a place of tahor with all the kalim, kli glolim, kli adama. Remember the ma'ila we did by para aduma. The einach of a kohen noigim, but no one can touch him. Kiman, who does that go according to? Reb Meir, Reb Yosi. Reb Meir holds both are 7-day guys. Reb Yosi holds both 3 7 days guys. The Reb Chanina Sugano Kahanim, Ha'ikinami, you have this chilik, right? One is 3 7 and one is all 7. Yeah, the Kohen Soif is all 7, and the Kohen Soif is what? The Kohen Gadol is 3 and 7. So in other words, that's another distinction, the amount of time that you go ahead and you spritz on them. Says the Gemara. Okay, so so in other words, that's a distinction. That's a distinction. That Mishnah is going according to what? Either Reb Meir or Reb Yosi, but not Reb Chanina. Now, Maskal or Reb Yosi, Reb Chanina. Again, just to go over it, guys, we did this already, right? The first 3 days, you're only spritzing for what? For the first 3 days, you're only spritzing for 3 days, right? That this possibility exists. It's day 3 of the Tumah. The latter 3 days, are 4 days after the first 3 days. That's the 7, the 3 and the 7. What about Wednesday? Why are you spritzing on a Wednesday? It does nothing. Wednesday can't be day 3 because you taught from day Sunday. Wednesday's 4 days after Sunday. I know for sure Sunday, Monday, Tuesday he was squeaky clean. He's been sequestered, right? So Wednesday can't be for day 3. It can't be for day 7 because it's not 4 days after Sunday. Only Thursday is 4 days after Sunday. So the Gemara wants to know why in heavens to Betsy, why are you going ahead and spritzing on Wednesday? Let's see it inside. Says the Gemara. Maskal Rabbi Yossi, Reb Chanina, Bishleima Rishain, Bishleima on the Sunday. Again, I'm saying Sunday just to make it easier. Bishleima Rishain, Shema Shlishi, Sheni Shema Shlishi, Shlishi Tuesday Shema Shlishi, Chamishi Thursday Shema Shvi, Shishi Shema Shvi, Shvi the 7th day Shabbos Shema Shvi, El Revi Wednesday Lamali Hazak Klal, Loi B'Shlishi Iklis Svuke. It can't possibly be Shlishi of the Tumah guys, but Loi B'Shvi Iklis Svuke, and it can't be what? Day 7 of the Tumah. So why are you spritzing? Says Tamech. Are you really spritzing for 7 days? For Kaimlon the Hazor Shvus, Hazor is a Shvus, then Doiches a Shabbos, right? It's not Doiches a Shabbos. We saw different reasons in Masechta, right? Als Tikkun Mana, or maybe you're going to carry 4 Amos Mishus Rabim, right? So obviously 7 is not to be taken literally. Elamai Ischol Shiva Lebam Shabbos, 7 days excluding Shabbos. Hachanami Shiva Lebam Revi. Okay, also what? You don't like this, maybe. Oh, Shiva Levar Mevi. You don't like this, maybe. The Gemara decided a long time ago. It doesn't care what you think. It doesn't care what I think. It doesn't care.
I can't win anyway, so.
Yeah, you might as well write. You might as well become a Democrat. Now, so says the Gemara. So in other words, obviously, guys, it's not going to be all 7 days, right? So therefore, Wednesday also. Amarava Hilkach, listen to this. Kohen Gadol b'Yom Kippurim, the lo b'di don talim elsa. A Kohen Gadol, the date of Yom Kippur is not up to the Jews. It's set by the calendar. Ela b'kvi the yarchet talim elsa. It's only set by what? The kvias of the moon. B'tilsa b'tishrei by the fushay. So when do you separate him? On the 3rd day of Tishrei, because 7 days later it's going to be Yud, which is Yom Kippur. Aval koina service a para, they be done talim also. Guys, there's no set time to go ahead and bring a para duma. So practically, we could set it up that the 4th day should be Shabbos, and then you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Right. So can't you see, right? Says the Gemara. So therefore, aval koina service a para, they be done talim also. Mafrishin loy b'revi b'Shabbos, will separate him on a Wednesday. That the spritzing of what? Of the 7 days, the 4th day would be on Shabbos. And the Mela, you're going to spritz at least 6 times. Okay, that's the. Okay, so maybe stop over here because this gets into it's not a hard Gemara. Just we'll have plenty of time to do this Gemara tomorrow, so we'll stop over here.
Rabbi.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't the halacha that if a person